And there are certain things that only the parents know. The voice of the parents now is extremely weakened because of all the voices that are fighting for the heart of our children. Google and Apple and so are investing millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, on how to get to people as young, in extremely young, how to get to them and make them slaves in the plantations of consumerism and of trivialism, right? Because so if our voice is not there, if our voice is not first implementing, protecting that fitrah and creating an environment for it to flourish and so on, society will abuse our children.
Sheikh Hassan, I don't want to cut you off here, but actually
Please.
This was one of the topics that I wanted to discuss about, actually, Sajjad, there's an article about gambling and kids. Like, this is, my brother, he brought this up to me. He's like, Ma'atasim, he's like, listen, it's like, you guys have to have a discussion about how gambling is being, shoved down the throat of young children, ages 7 and above, on all of these apps and all these video games. So it actually made me pick up an article. I just want to highlight it here, Sheikh Hassan, to your point. Like, here it is. This is actually in The Guardian. UK children bombarded by gambling ads and images online, a charity warns. Children are saturated with betting promotions and gambling-like content while using the internet, despite restrictions on ad campaigns targeting young people, new research reveals. Gamble Aware, the charity funded by donations from gambling firms. That's pretty interesting, isn't it, Sheikh Hassan?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Gambling Aware, the charity funded by donations from gambling firms. Okay, so we already see where the money is coming from.
Exactly.
Commissioned research that found the risks of online gambling were not understood by children because of the blurred line between betting ads and popular online casino-style games. It warns gambling ads with cartoon graphics are likely to be strongly appealing to children. Last week, one gambling firm was promoting a new online slots game on social media with 3 cartoon frogs urging people to take a dip with the ribbiting rascals. And so I guess that's the image that it was shown there. And then it goes on to discuss, these challenges. But as parents, like, here's some of the stuff, Sheikh Hassan, that we're up against.
Yeah, the battle and falsehood and jahiliyyah and ignorance is working hard, and working hard to target the young hearts of our the young mind of our children. And once they're hooked, they're hooked. Once jahiliyyah becomes appealing to them and they drink from that milk first, it sets their palate. Their palate becomes only enjoy that which is trivial, that which is batil, that which is falsehood, that which is wrong. So if we don't prevent all of those colors for the path of Jahannam away from our children will listen to them. Now, basketball is benign, very benign. People watch basketball. We get to with the kids to talk to them about it. So out of our interest to make them excited and come to our halaqas and to come to our to talk to them a little bit about basketball. But basketball right now is bombarded with gambling. Not only that the ads that are in those games that are children's games, some ads are paid for by the lobby of the queer LGBT community, and they are extremely convincing, and they're extremely adept in being subtle, in being infiltrating in ways that is stealthy. So we have to be very careful. We have to be there. We have to make sure that what our children are exposed to on an early age is something that we curate. That we have to create it. This is part of our job. We cannot allow society to say, this is not your 70s, 80s, 90s. This is not the early 2000s even. Yeah. This is what our children are seeing on a daily basis. What they're exposed to on a daily basis has never been seen in the history of humanity. The amount, the velocity, the arrogance, the audacity of jahiliyyah is beyond what you can imagine. So we have to be careful. We have to teach. We have to find alternatives. We have to create alternatives. We want our brothers and our sisters who are good at this to produce games that are good, to produce things like, I know how much it takes, but unless we produce alternatives that are good, saying no to things will not be a solution. So there is a moment where the parents should not be, we have to protect, but you can't be always the naysayer. You have to find smart ways of convincing our children. So, because not all the time you're going to be there. Not all the time you're going to be there. There is time where they're going to be by themselves on their own, with their phones in their rooms, and the fear of Allah Ta'ala and the love of Allah Ta'ala and the awe of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will play their role in protecting them. And now they become autonomous believers, and we have to do that. We have to do that and be persistent in it until they become those autonomous believers. So they know what falsehood is, and they know its tricks, and they know what good is, and they know how to sustain themselves and how to strengthen themselves. And it cannot happen without a community. This is something that we pay attention to. There is a moment where our voice as parents get lost, because we're there for our children, because they take us for granted, because of growing up. This is how it is. You need the community, that when your voice is not there, they can stand up and they can take care of your child.
Here we have a concept here in Maryland with the brothers and the families that here. It takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
So, for me, some parents out there, if they see another parent, disciplining or say something to their kids, automatically like, how dare you say that to my child? What are you saying? Okay, maybe. Yeah. I don't know what that person's relationship is, but for me, if it's someone like Ghaidar here in Maryland, one of my dear friends, and he sees my son doing something he should not be doing, I expect Ghaidar to say something to my kid, because in that position, if I'm not there, he's in my position as a father. Absolutely. And so, when we have that system of trust amongst each other, that we know that, listen, this is not a egotistical pursuit. And we know that, Uncle Mu'tasim or Uncle Sammy or Uncle Bilal is not just going to come after your child randomly. He's trying to live these principles with you. It makes it so much easier to raise children in the crazy environment that you mentioned that we have these days. And I'll give you another example. Even when my kids ask me for something, you know what I do sometimes? I choose 3 of my dear friends, and I call them a tribunal. I said, hey, listen, here's what you got to do. Go to Uncle Rehan, Sajjad, and Arish. Wallahi, I do this. I said, I have given them the authority to answer on my behalf. Go talk to them, bring them together, and whatever you guys come up with, I agree with. Because it takes a village to raise a child. Maybe I'm going to say no to Muhammad for something that I should probably say yes to. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. Wallahi, Mu'tasim, honestly, the task is not small, and that's why we cannot do it on our own. We have to plead with Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to be for them, because at the end of the day, Allah Ta'ala will manifest what He intends for them at a time He wants for them. There is, no matter what you do, whatever Allah Ta'ala wills for them, they're going to see it. So what is it that we have to do? We're not in control of their destiny. We're not in control of their guidance or misguidance. We're not in control of any of that. We are in control of what Allah told us to do with them, to be protective of their fitrah, to allow them a safe environment, to allow them a flourishing environment, an environment in which their fitrah can, that filled with iman, filled with mahabbah, filled with love, filled with gentleness, and with iman, and with tremendous amount of love and tremendous amount of care, and tremendous amount of care that is intellectual, that is physical, that is, and then whatever Allah Ta'ala has in store for them, they're going to see it.